This week on the Push Pullups podcast, we're finally going back to the gym. And what are the strongest combos? Let's change some clients, Dan. Let's smash them. Yeah, let's get back in the gym. Yeah, let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall. What was muted? You were talking over my 3, 2, 1.
I know, as soon as you press record, it says my microphone becomes unmuted, and I'm like, well, yeah, hopefully it wasn't muted when we were talking before. So it sounds really weird. But yeah, anyway, mate, that's probably the longest little intro you've ever done on that little bit.
Yeah, I usually just make it like short and snappy to the point of what either we're going to talk about, or what's been going through my mind, or how to take the piss out of you, or how to take the piss out of the fitness industry. Yeah, I've only done.
Well, more importantly, Tom, are you going to apologise to everyone for the lack of podcast?
The lack of show. We actually did. Yeah, I think at the end of the show we did say that, like, see you next week. Yeah, great. And apparently, I forgot to tell Dan I was going on holiday.
I was sat there at 7:30, like thinking, like, okay, here we go. Like, no worries, got a podcast. Rushed through my day, and then Tom texted me and was like, "Oh, don't forget, no podcast this week." I was like, "What? Didn't know."
I'm pretty sure I did tell Dan at some point in the last week, maybe, that I was going away, but it was a kind of spur of the moment thing because obviously all the announcements got made about the gyms, and contractually, I will not be allowed to take my holiday for about 3 months after the gym's open. So that leaves me not until like October, November time for me being allowed to go away. So it was a spur of the moment and realizing that, oh crap, this is probably the only time I can have a full week out. I'm sure I can swindle it somehow during August, but it's just probably not with all the work for the PTC, but it would just be, it was just like, oh crap, let's go. So yeah. It was more that, and then just whirlwind, and I forgot to tell you.
I mean, I could have just done one on my own, but it would have got loaded.
It would have been sitting there until today, like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, mate, I did go away. Not far away. We were looking at like diving over to France, but obviously with the stipulations and everything, we're just like, it's too much of a headache to do everything, so we're just like, we can't bother. There's too many things that you kind of have to do or whatever. We were just like, fuck it, we went up to the Lake District, and I haven't been to the Lake District in years, since I was a little boy.
Well, is that true? No, because didn't you do the 3 Peaks challenge, and doesn't that?
Oh yeah, apart from that.
apart from just lie to
yeah, we went up Scarfell Park again, but in the daytime this time. So obviously when we climbed it at about midnight, 1 a.m. or we got down at about 2 a.m. when we did the 3 Peaks challenge. But yeah, we climbed it during the daytime. Was it any better? No, the weather was terrible. Like gale force, wind, rain.
I could have told you that.
Miserable in the clouds. We kind of got lulled in because it was quite nice below the cloud. As soon as we got level, it was like, yeah, this isn't nice. Turns out, obviously, we know this from our GCSE geography, don't we, Dan? That on one side of the mountains, it's normally okay. And as soon as you go the other side of the mountain, it's probably shit because the rain and the cloud hits the mountain and shit comes out. And that's what was happening.
Well done. Very good work, mate.
Thanks, mate. I remember that from my geography. But yeah, it was nice. We stayed in a grade 2 listed farmhouse thing. That we rented on Airbnb, which is now like, we wanted to stay one more day, so I contacted the Airbnb people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it is booked up until like October now." I was like, oh, brilliant. Okay, good. I guess we're not coming back here for a while.
Yeah.
It was super nice though. Like it was obviously really old, and all the electrics and stuff and had been retrofitted into the house. And if you know old houses and old stuff, it doesn't always go to plan. Like, so I'm pretty sure some of the lights were done on the theory of, you remember the old Christmas lights? If one bulb goes, fucked. So I'm pretty sure that happens for some of the lights. So they all tripped out, and we're like, brilliant. Also, Chloe, not really knowing old houses, decided to turn the switch on and off several times, which tends to, in old houses, trip the fuse. So my parents have an old cottage, and that will trip the fuse box out. So So, but that was on the last night, so it didn't really matter. So I left a message saying, FYI, none of the lights work, and only half your toaster works. That wasn't us. That was already like that. But I'm guessing it was empty for a long time. But yeah, I like the kitchen. I've got a kind of one in my flat, but like an island. I love an island in the kitchen.
Yeah,
it's the best thing. It was so big as well. In Arga as well. Love an Arga. Arga's good. Do enjoy it. If anybody doesn't know what an Arga does, generally like heats the house. So my parents have got one, and it's still coal. They haven't even had it converted to gas, and that's what heats the whole house. And it is also an oven. Yeah, it's interesting. That one was gas in the house. So.
It's probably really bad for the environment, isn't it?
Oh, what? My parents' one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
awful.
Sort that
out,
coal and wood.
Come on. The vegans will be going mad. All the vegans listening, they'll be going mad.
They will be going mad. Apologies to all the vegans. Taking all that firewood and kindling and coal. Great. I'm pretty sure we're the only people that get coal delivered. They have like coal little bunker things in front of the house. Crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
I think
so they have to go do it manually then? Like keep it going?
Yeah. You get like a coal thing, a bucket, and then you just put it in every now and again. So then you have to like clear the ashes out, and that's what heats the house throughout the year.
Oh fuck that! No chance.
They have got like a boiler and everything to switch over. They can do an electric boiler as well, but they generally use that because it is nicer.
Fuck that. Still.
But anyway, what was happening in your week?
What did I do? I had. Have we spoke since the client photo shoot we had? Yeah, we had a client photo shoot.
Yeah, I saw some of that. I didn't see it. I saw some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a client photo shoot which went really, really well. So that was very good. Mostly lads, there's 2 girls.
No corona.
Well, yeah, obviously we had to think about what we were doing and stuff, but obviously it was all good from that point of view. Yeah, interesting about corona, like it seems to have been really well contained with all the measures and stuff. Like I haven't heard of any, obviously like small little local outbreaks and stuff, but on the whole, like it seems to be that I was worried. I thought at this point we'd start seeing, people like because of all the, I thought because of people going out and about and more people sort of, I suppose, the things like the protests and some of the mass gatherings at the beaches and stuff. I was like, I was, a bit panicked, but it's good to see that it seems to be somewhat under control. So that was good. But yeah, so we kind of all were there and we're all sort of being smart. And obviously with photo shoots, it's kind of easy because the photographer's quite a way away. You don't have to stand. No one else has to stand in the photo with you. So it was kind of all right, to be fair.
I thought Mike had a kind of thing for like touching everybody. He
just had to like. Obviously, Mike's hands were like sanitized, and he had like, he made sure he was all good. And then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you can kind of do it if you want," but he didn't get as close. He didn't get as up close and personal as I think he would have liked to. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where I don't know if the gloves really helped. I don't think I think he likes the skin on skin. So I was like,
that sounds like him.
So yeah, no, it was all right. Like, yeah, obviously it wasn't exactly the same experience. Like we'd be lying if it was, but obviously we didn't really go out in the night. You could go out. But again, it's not the same vibe as it was like before. It's just not. I haven't been out on a night with all the restrictions and stuff. But not that half people give a shit by the looks of it. But it is what it is. It's just like I said, I went and had my flipping beard done today, and obviously the guy's there and he's getting all close. But it's sort of everyone takes the precautions that they can. And I think with nursery as well, we sort of were talking. Me and Laura were talking earlier. It's more about like minimizing the risk. It's not about eliminating it. It's about saying like, doing as little as possible. So it's like we can't both go in to pick up Isabel, even though we're both probably fine, all that sort of stuff. It's like, no, but one person allowed in at one time. It's just about minimizing risk. It's not to say that you're not going to come into contact. It's not to say that 2 lots of feet in there is going to be anything to one. It's just about going, well, why bother if you only need one person in, kind of thing. So I kind of get it, and it makes sense. Like I said, that's where I think with the photo shoot and stuff, obviously it was like there was minimal amount of people there. No partners were allowed, no extra people were allowed. It was like you've just got to minimize the risk everywhere you go. I think the gyms will find that, soon. It's not going to be about, that there's any difference between having 55 or 80 people in the gym. It's about having as few as possible at any one time so that you can manage the risk as best you can. Like it's, and I suppose each person has their own sort of like level of risk they're willing to take. Like I probably won't go traveling for the rest of the year. I'm just not going to do it. Like
Yeah.
I don't like traveling the best of times, so like, I'm not going to do it with all the the effort that goes into it. But some people will, so it's like fine, it's all them. So yeah, it's been weird, hasn't it, going back into like public again, I suppose, in the world or whatever.
I mean,
weird,
obviously we were away and we did obviously go for some food and some drinks out and about. So we went to like a couple of pubs and it seemed like all the precautions were super good. Like even like little local pubs up in I don't know where we are, near Ullswater and like on the lake and stuff. And it was like precautions. They had like the plastic perspex between each like booth and stuff all the way through. We could barely understand the bartenders and the waiters like with the masks on.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're like, ooh, I was like, the amount of times I said, sorry, what? Like, oh, I just sound retarded. I was like, I am listening, but I can't work out what you say. And you've got this northwestern accent, so I mean,
that's hard enough as it is.
Chloe had no hope. She was like, "What are they doing?" So yeah, it was interesting to say the least. But it felt like the restaurants and the bars, and obviously they need the people to come back in, like us to go traveling and like that's probably what they thrive on. But all the people around in the northwestern areas aren't as concerned about it, I don't think, as London are. I didn't spot anybody on the street, and we went to like Windermere. By the way, Windermere, bit chatty. Didn't really enjoy it, bit tacky. But yeah, the lake's very nice, but that bit, the rest of it, lovely. Wherever we went, Summit Bridge, P Bridge, something like that. Do you know the Lake District very well?
Absolutely not.
You know?
No.
I
Why would I know about Lake District?
I thought you'd be well up there. Anyway, something bridge. It's at Ullswater, but the Windermere Lake's really nice, but yeah, it's a little bit odd. But everybody was just like, I did not spot a face mask on the street, which I thought was quite strange. Whereas in London, like every other person's got one on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's become mandatory. Is it now that you have to wear one in a shop, or is it next week? I feel like it's next week. I think
it's next week, yeah.
Sweet, because I went into Boots and I was a bit paranoid. I brought mine, but then I saw people coming in and out without it, and I was like, ooh. I still haven't really been to that many shops as well, though. You've got to think, like, even though they're reopened, I've been to like.
I wouldn't bother with shops, to be honest. I'm not that fussed about going to one.
No, I mean, just because like we're right next to Oxford Street, or I'm next to Westfield from my flat, and it's just like, yeah, just I haven't even been to Waitrose that much because Ocado's back delivering like within a day now. So
yeah.
Also, the most middle class thing ever to happen is Ocado are dropping Waitrose and going to M&S and uproar.
I know, it's crazy. Isn't it?
I mean, what's going on there? Not happy about that at all. But yeah, not good. Not good. Damn.
That's what it is, isn't it? Well, M&S is all right, don't it? Do you know?
M&S is all right. I remember M&S used to be so posh when we were younger.
Yeah.
I swear. It was
like great food, though. Like, do great food, so...
Interesting. We've been to M&S a few times, but I don't mind. It's only because the two closest supermarkets to both our flats are Waitrose. It just happens to be that. And they're the biggest ones next to us as well. But yeah, mate. I guess we got to talk about the gyms opening because we obviously missed last week, so we missed the time to talk about the gyms opening. Was it the Thursday of not last week before the announcement happened?
Ages ago. It seems like ages ago since.
It seems like ages ago. Yeah. They gave us because they were like, we've got to give them 2 weeks to prepare. We're like, we were ready before, mate. We thought it was going to be the 4th. But yeah, gyms are opening on Saturday, and as you've seen, there are some gyms and classes that are happening on midnight at Friday.
Fucking stupid. What? I just don't get that. I do not understand the. Seriously.
Go support your local gym. Do a workout.
We're better than that, aren't we? Surely we're better than that.
Are we? Are we?
Well, yeah. Are we? Are we though?
No. But yeah, mate. Gyms are opening, so I guess apparently you've seen some generic posts that have come up.
Oh, fucking PTs, man! Like, I saw a quote. I can't remember exactly now. I can't really quote it, but it was something like, "Can't wait till next week when my clients won't be able to walk out the gym after their session with me." Great, you're odd. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I do understand PTs are morons, the majority of them. Like, but there's this whole obsession with like, oh, I've got to annihilate my client, otherwise I didn't train hard. And I basically just wrote a post. I was like, if you've got a PT who thinks that you need to sweat loads or ache loads after a session, they're a fucking awful PT. They're just shit. And lo and behold, with gyms opening, it's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to, really sort of annihilate my clients next week. Like, really? Is that where we're at? Is that the standard? Is it? Apparently, it is a standard of the fitness industry in this country. That's what people want to do. They want to annihilate their clients so they can't walk. And ultimately, after everything that has happened, the last thing you want to do is to go in the gym and do loads and loads and loads of volume. You actually want to reduce it massively and do small amounts of volume. You want to make sure that you gradually build it up, and over time, take things very, very slowly and probably look to get back to the volume you were at previously in about 4 to 6 weeks. I would suggest that anyway. That's just a volume. And at the same time, in 4 to 6 weeks, you might start peaking at the intensity as well. But I don't know what most people are going to do. Most people are just going to go back in the gym. They're going to do every single drop set, every single cluster set, every single rep max test go in, and they're just going to fuck it up, and they're going to be stupid, and they're going to hurt themselves, and they're going to not see any results for a couple of weeks because they're going to be so fucking sore from that. But their body is just not going to thank them whatsoever. And I know however much I go on about it, people are still going to ignore me. I'm not going to do it. But my clients will be doing it. Don't you worry about that. They've all got their plans, so they know what they're doing. But
I mean, yeah.
I know what they're going to say as well. I know what they're going to do. They're going to be like, oh, can I do a bit extra?
Yeah. And you're like, nope.
Oh, but what if I do a bit more? Can I do double the amount of sessions you've written down? No.
Just be like, yeah, you can do it. Only if it involves sitting on a bike and doing a little bit of steady state at about 60% of your heart rate.
Yeah.
There you
exactly.
Go. If you want to spend more time in the gym, and you're like, bear in mind. So I've written a little post for the PTC, which will be coming out next week. Basic, it's general advice for everybody. And yeah, I mean, it's just realizing that the gym's going to be slightly different, and maybe training for only 45 minutes might be more beneficial for everybody. Like, not only just you, but you're also in and out, and exactly what you said, limiting the chance of infection or whatever, all this kind of stuff is probably going to be good. So it's like, all right, if you've got your hour session, maybe only using 45 minutes of it is like, or don't just go right up to the minimum so it stops other people coming in. If you get your stuff done, whatever your coach has given you, job done. You can leave, carry on with the rest of your day. Just think of it of like a new blessing, like starting to get back into things. So I've written a little 6-point list down. See if you agree with any of them. Hopefully all of them. So we got number 1. The first point was start with some basics. So fundamental movement patterns, and that's it. Yeah, wonderful.
Squat, hinge, push, pull. Simple.
Squat, hinge, push, pull. That literally what I wrote.
That's because you're right, Tom. That's because you're right.
I was like, just do those 4 things and get out.
And if you've got a little bit of 5 minutes free, do some core work and then get out.
Or core work, or just like 2 sets of biceps. Right, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then number 2, get to know your surroundings. Because guess what? I've been in a couple of gyms and they've had to move equipment around and redo stuff. And the chances are you won't be able to pair superset or have the same flow to your session as you once did. So you're going to spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes of your hour faffing around trying to get to a piece of equipment, or going to somewhere that you don't know actually if they've replaced it somewhere, whether they put it, whether it's out of order. So I've said on your first 2 sessions, maybe spend 10 minutes just having a little walk and realizing where stuff is and whether it's in use and how to guide your session. That's going to be, I think, just a thing that people are going to totally not do, because it's going to be, it's not going to be in a new gym, but it's going to be a new layout and a new facility essentially. So a little bit of advice. So just in case you come in with a plan from Dan, hey, rhymes. And then, so it might not work based off, because we normally ask how your gym's set up if we're doing online coaching. Is this particularly close to this? Or can you do this superset easily? Or can you do this? And if you can't, then it's going to be the case of like, all right, well, we're going to have to change around exercises. And if you're going to ruin your 45 minutes in there, then we might need to change something. Hope you agree with that then.
I think it's one of those where like I've put some supersets in mine, and I've kind of suggested that they basically, what you would do is you would kind of go and if you're going to like a squat rack, for example, you would then take a dumbbell with you and go, right, well, you're going to superset a back squat with single arm floor press, whatever. I've not programmed that, but let's say, for example, and you go, right, take the dumbbell with you over there. Do you know, like you'd get prepared for that space. Like your floor print needs to be as small as possible in the gym. Again, I think from working in, like we've said,
working in Marylebone,
in Marylebone, you just get used to it. You just go, right, we're doing this superset. You got this bit of equipment, this bit of equipment. And this is the floor space. You need to get on with it. And I think that's the thing. And it's just little things like even I've done exercises where I've said to someone, right, you're on a machine row. First two sets you're doing single arm. Last set you do double arm. And again, you're just like all you're doing with that is you're creating an exercise flow whereby the intensity of the first two sets is slightly smaller than the last set, because by doing single arm you have less load, and it's always like slightly less than half. You can always do a bit more than half with double load, so you're just reducing the amount of weight and CNS fatigue by just changing those little things of when you go single arm, double arm. So it's just thinking like that and like thinking outside the box. So it's one of those things where it's just I don't think some of these things PTs are going to write over people. I just don't think. They'll be all over gyms. All right.
Oh, yeah. So number 3, warming up and movement prep will be key. It's like possibly if you're in a PT session, maybe your client might need a little bit of warming up. I'm going to go with minimum 20 minutes of your hour session for the first couple of weeks. If you're not used to doing that and stuff, then learn it. There's plenty of stuff out there about it.
Yeah, there's those people there. There's those people thinking just stretch for 20 minutes. Like really? Like,
yeah. No. Like
the warm up can actually feel just as intense.
Like that. Yeah, it's just it's starting to get the blood flowing, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean sit on a treadmill. Does not mean go on the rower. It can combine those things, 100%. But yeah, it might be in like row to reverse lunge to lateral lunge to reaching RDL. Amazing. We've suddenly got a little bit of upper and 3 lowers. Bingo. That's your movement prep. But it's all unloaded in a sense. It hasn't got an external load to it. So number 4, drop your load and volume. Shock.
No one wants to hear that one though, Tom. Like, no one. Like genuinely like. I'm telling you now, people are just going to think they're going to go, oh, fuck that. They're going into the gym and go, oh, fuck that. No,
this is obviously coming out before.
I don't plan on squatting when I go back, right? I don't plan on squatting with anything more than 60 kilos when I go back in my first session squatting. I'm not doing it. Like, it's not happening. 220s, that's it.
So peek behind, I actually was lucky enough to train in a gym on Monday by myself. I know, it's crazy. In the middle of central London. We were doing some work around. And so I trained. And I did a trap bar deadlift. I lifted 140 kilos for 3s. So 3 sets of 3, 140. I back squatted for 3s again. But I only lifted 70 kilos for 3s to 5s. Just an FYI, I can... Yeah, for 3s, trap bar deadlifting 200 plus, back squats, more like 170, 180 for 3s. So I'm dropping that massively because I'm not getting anywhere near any of these numbers normally. And then what I saw was, I think I went to dumbbell bench press and I would quite comfortably for say 8s pick up some 40s and be able to bench those. And I was struggling to do 3-4 sets of 8s with 30 kilos. And that's a big drop. And I was like, that's 25% down. So I've written in that little post is drop the load or volume by 15 to 25%. I think that's probably the range that people are going to have to go for based off 4 months.
I said lower. I would expect them to be, like you found 25 to 33%. I would say a third. Like if some people squatting, if you were squatting 100 kilos for reps before, you're gonna go down to 70, I reckon, like comfortably. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what training people have done, I suppose. But obviously, I've done nothing, and when I say nothing, I mean quite frankly, for an online coach, shocking amount. But like I said, it's also because I'm not worried at all about going back in the gym and like it'll come back quickly, all that sort of stuff.
I was quite surprised. I was like, I've done press ups. I was like, I'm pretty fat right now, so that's a lot of load. But yeah, it's not the same. But I was quite surprised I could still do pull-ups so comfortably. So for repping them out, so that was all right. But I was injured so I kind of I couldn't do much overhead pulling.
Yeah, I think with it though, it's going to be the same thing that people find when it comes to dieting. They're going to find the same level of strength drop off. So for example, most people can deadlift and row and pull up relatively similar amounts, even if they're in an energy deficit. As soon as they start dieting, bench press and squat, two things that just go fuck that.
Yeah, it's like
and I think
any pushing. Any pushing exercises, because it'll
be that explosive force where you've got the eccentric first and then the go. Whereas on deadlifts and pull-ups, you kind of have the concentric first, and then it's the eccentric after. And it's that movement that you find difficult once you have that eccentric, because you think you can handle it. Oh, this is all right, and then you go, oh shit. Whereas on the concentric, you pull it, and actually I can do this. So it's that I think that people are going to struggle with the most. And the other thing that I've sort of said to people is, I've not programmed many like dumbbell exercises for like curls and stuff or lateral raises, because most people have got enough equipment to do that at home with enough weight. So it's like, don't waste your time at the gym doing dumbbell curls. If you've got dumbbells at home that are heavy enough, don't do them. You should be using a barbell and machines, like leg presses.
I did on the back end. I used the preacher curl machine. I was just like, go. It's like, I haven't trained biceps. It's like just
exactly. A machine's fine. Machine's fine.
Right. That was so. I got number 5 was don't smash yourself. I was like, keep your sessions to about 45 minutes. Move through the exercises with quality, and killing yourself for an endorphin rush, probably not the best long-term benefit that you want. I mean, that's just like slow and steady's gonna win the race anyway, isn't it? I think enough of us have said that, but we got that old man strength that will kick in. Because it's just lots of basic lifting for a long time. Probably not a lot of 45-minute hit. Yeah. I mean, that's just general advice. And I feel you see it more and more now, because obviously it's more popularized, and maybe the people we were following are getting older and they're getting of that age, and they're like, actually, what do you think it was? Being like lots of hit sessions, smashing it, feeling like really sore and all this, and they're like, actually, it's like Jamie Alderton put one up. He's been training for quite a while, and he's like, what you think's going to make you lean? And he's like, actually, it's doing compound exercises, being consistent, being boring. And it's like, he does these crazy things like box jumps for a day, or like the power hour where he does sled pushes for an hour. And he just picks one exercise and does it. But the fact is that all the other times, he just picks those randomly and does them like once a month. But then it's just all the boring crap he normally does. Phil Lerney was one, wasn't he? When we talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, I just do 3 exercises, then fuck off."
As you get older, you just realise it's just consistency and just fucking doing the work and not worrying about the intricacies of the details. But summarize those points then.
Well, my last one, number 6 was don't get disheartened.
Oh, that's nice.
It's nice, isn't it? The fact is that you're gonna get back to where you were more quickly than how long it took you to get there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So don't get disheartened. Everybody's in the same boat unless you've had a home gym, like a proper gym. I think it's all right. Summarize those points. Don't be.
I'm just gonna write them all out, and I'm gonna make an Instagram post about them.
Don't be a dick. Use your brain slightly. Get your newbie gains.
Yeah.
That's my summary, mate.
No, as in like, what were the 6 points? Go over them all just one at a time again. Like,
all right. Start with basics. Get to know your surroundings. Warming up and movement prep, probably going to be key. Drop your load or volume. Don't smash yourself. And don't get disheartened.
Easy. There you go. I'm writing all this down, mate. Just.
There you go. Do you want me to send you the Word document for?
You can do if you want me. Yeah. We're just talking before about how hard, like content and just how boring content is and stuff. I was like, well, there's a bit of content right there. What to focus on with injury? Boom, straight away, 6 points. I might add to it as well. I might add more jokey ones to it. Make sure you take your Gymshark stringer. All that sort of jazz.
And then your one will go out before the PTC one because we got to get it designed, and then we'll look like Brilliant.
Perfect. I'm sure you've got many more followers than I've got. I'm sure you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, but actually, many more followers become because I'm writing all the posts at the moment for the PTC. Shock, I don't write any of my own, but which is it's kind of strange.
So now when it's your job to do it, you start doing it.
Yeah, when it's my job, I start doing it, but I don't have to do it like. Yeah, there was. I wrote a post that I just thought I'd be funny because not a lot of the posts that I think Luke and that have done over the last few years have been very controversial, and it's not like me to create an argument. And I thought I'd post something about what's your opinion, Dan, on stability muscles? And you're training those stabilizers right now.
It's just bullshit.
Thank you.
Like, it's just like people say it to sound clever, and it's just like no, good training, good training by definition will train your stabilizers. Like anyway,
they're like, all right, those are the stabilizer muscles. All right, what are those exactly? Like the rotator cuff, like teres major, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like,
so rotator cuff doesn't do movement then?
So the rotator, yeah, this is
doesn't move then, does it?
So I made the point that a stabilizer or prime mover or a mover muscle is dictated by task, not by what muscle it is.
Yeah, because your quad is a stabilizer when you're going to wall sit.
I was like, if you're at the bottom of a squat, guess what's your glute and everything stabilizing you. They're not moving. And I was just like, I was making this point, and then I backed up. I shoved a load of research in there with like stuff, and there's so many people like, have you read this? Have I read that? No, but common sense dictates this, and also here's all the research that says that this is. And then this is a controversial post. I was like, correct, it is, but you got to use a comment on it, so we get better reach. So
it's not that controversial though. It
was. That's why I was just like, oh. It just wound me up slightly. A Luke just started.
The other one I get is when people are like, people talk about like glute med, like, oh yeah, when they do crab walks and shit. And it's like, yeah, but like Brett Contreras does frog pumps, and that's like a movement, then that trains them. So are they a stabilizer or not? Because actually, to get them stronger, you have to actually move them. Like that's how you get them stronger. You're not going to get them stronger doing crab walks.
So one of the arguments that I proposed was muscle fiber type. So generally speaking, a lot of these muscle fibers, you're dictated on whether you're a fast twitch or a slow twitch, or whether you stabilize more or if you're more moving. And the fact is that all of those muscles are generally a 50-50 split of slow twitch and fast twitch. It's just whether you're genetically like more inclined to activate certain ones than anything else. And it's not the fact is that, it's definitely that. And I was like, no, they're generally speaking 50-50 in split of muscle fiber type. So there's not that much leeway. There's only a certain amount that there was one study on 36 different muscles, all tended to be around about 50% split. And I was like, okay, well, that's a lot of muscles, and they're only the big ones. So I guess that's going to be the case. So
it's just like, but the problem is, do you know what it is? Though? It's because you're challenging their viewpoint, but also they've probably said it, so they're like, oh no, I've said that, and it's like, no, but that's not real. Like we maybe have said it before. I would hold my hands up and say I probably said it.
Oh yeah, I definitely said it. That's what I said in the post, and I was like, we definitely said it. But there was some people that were like, oh, like I can't believe I said that now. I'm like, yeah, but you weren't to know. We weren't to know either. So it's interesting. Because we've definitely talked about that before, and we've been like, those stabilizers, oh god, yeah. It's the classic, that rotator cuff external rotation thing. What are you doing? I'm working my stabilizers. Okay. Yeah. Of course you are, by moving that rotator cuff. Okay, good. But interesting, isn't it, mate?
Crazy, mate. Post, right, I find it so I can see the comments on it.
I don't know, it's on there somewhere.
There it is, yeah. Myths that need to say ciao.
I thought I'd do a missed one every month or so. But yeah, I'm doing like quizzes as well. It'll be fun. You just gonna sit there and read it? Brilliant.
No, I'm just. Don't worry about it, mate. I'll read it later. But yeah. No, it's just like I just think some people when they get challenged, they just get so defensive.
Yeah,
it's like, well, not everyone can be right all the time. Like there's things you have to be challenged on. Like I get challenged.
I wrote another post on evidence-based bullshitters as well. So the people who generally will believe in and won't take other people's stuff into account. It's like, oh, maybe it's a new idea that you can take on if the evidence shows it. Yeah. Right, mate. There's apparently one thing that was trending this week, and don't hate me, but I do follow Women's Health, and it bumped up on there, and it's apparently at 156% like surge in Google searches, yeah. Like this week and hashtags, is the military diet.
Oh, for fuck's sake, what's this?
Right,
I'm gonna look it up now.
You look it up now.
Why have I not heard of this?
So I hadn't. Obviously, I was just scrolling. It came up on my feed, and it was like the military diet is trending. See what? Oh, I've got my background, so you can't really see my phone. I'm in the lab apparently on my background.
Lose 10 pounds in 1 week. Well, that's not going to be your body fat.
So here's what free nutritionists think of it. But so basically, I'll give you a rundown of the day. So a military diet breakfast. So you tell me off the chain what you think the macros will be here. So a slice of toast with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, half a grapefruit, 1 cup of coffee or tea. That's your breakfast.
Just have a protein shake. Seriously.
The lunch. 1 slice of toast, half a cup of tuna, 1 cup of coffee or tea. The dinner. So you don't get any snacks in between this. 3 ounces of meat, e.g. steak, a cup of green beans, a small apple, half a banana. That lovely pairing of steak and apple banana. That'll make you great. That's what you serve me every time I come to Bath. So
fuck that.
So it's on the premise of like eat around 1,000 calories.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you eat 1,000 calories a day, you're going to lose weight. Guess what?
Yeah,
Actually, you're probably better off eating some more protein and some more veg in there. Probably better off, like that's an idea, isn't it?
So you do that for like 2 to 3 days of the week, and then eat to like 2,000 calories.
So you basically just like written a meal plan and called it military diet, and people would take
it.
On,
so it's also known as the Navy diet or the Army diet. Well, it's just a low calorie diet.
No one in the Army eating that. I'll tell you that. No one.
No one, unless they're making them lose weight. That's probably all they get given. So
why is it all around toast?
No, 1 slice of toast. Don't have a toaster. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Just a thing. Yeah. Whoever thought of toast is incredible. Like, because obviously you cook bread, right? And whoever thought let's cook that again to create toast.
I know. Incredible, isn't it?
I mean, whoever thought that? That's just crazy. But there was one post down, I think, as we start to round through this episode. But one post, it's I enjoy pen and paper strength app. He's got about 50,000 followers, but he's got really, really nice handwriting. But he wrote a post on some of the strongest combos of all time, which got me thinking.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly is number 3. He's only put 3 on the list.
Sweet and salted popcorn.
I mean, I feel like we're just coming up with our own.
I think we should. I think that's the whole point.
That is definitely the whole point. So sweet and salty. I think that's what you're going to come up with top 3. I mean, so they can't.
I tell you what, I know one of them has got to be that no one really tries it, and they need to get on it because I used to do it when I was dieting and it's incredible. Is porridge with ice cream on top.
Porridge and ice cream.
It's that hot and cold thing, mate. It's just insane.
I think I've got to do that. Yeah. Is it diet ice cream or are we allowed like?
No. It works with diet ice cream, but it's even better with proper ice cream. Because what I did when I was dieting was I was like, right, to make the ice cream go further, was like, actually, if I've only got a small pot and I have a small little thing of porridge with it, it's like, yeah, you want to get like one of the little pots of like Haagen-Dazs or something. That's the perfect size on a good bowl of porridge. Wow, like incredible.
That's a treat. So that's an underrated combo.
It's unheard of, that one, mate. Another good one that people don't talk about: tuna and cheese, like tuna melt.
Tuna and cheese.
Tuna melts are very good.
Yeah, tuna melts are good, but they're not as good as the beans and cheese. Like in terms of beans and cheese,
obviously, but
jacket potato, beans and cheese. That's the combo you want on your jacket potato.
Yeah. It's not a lot of protein now, though, is there, Tom? So, yeah.
No, but who gives a shit about that? So they got number 2 is biscuits and gravy. Actually, something I've had a couple of times over the last like 3 or 4 weeks.
That's dumplings and gravy, though, isn't it, over there?
It's like it's gravy biscuits. They're like they're kind of like sweetie scone things, but with like sausage gravy. It's really nice, but
Good
it's
shout, yeah.
a southern thing. But yeah, good shout. And he's put number 1 is jacked and tan. I guess it's a pretty good combo to be jacked and tanned. But
Well, yeah, great combo, but
bit of a weird one. I've put any kind of biscuits and milk. It's basically any chocolate.
Cookies and milk.
This is what I wrote cookies, but I was
digestive
like,
digestive ain't gonna help, or rich tea is not gonna help me.
Digestives, yeah. I mean, people who eat the digestives when the chocolate ones are right next to it don't understand. I put ketchup and mustard as toppings for obviously we've got to think burgers.
Yeah, there's much better things than that, isn't there?
Mate, but it's classic and standard. Like it's a strong combo. Obviously peanut butter and jelly is great, but yeah, ketchup and mustard. If you go sauce combo, you're not going to put much with barbecue sauce. You're not going to put
barbecue mayo. Great combo.
What is that?
You know when I get my Five Guys, I put barbecue sauce and mayo on it.
No, you do not. I've had Five Guys with you before.
I do. That's what I had last Five Guys I had that on it.
No way.
Yeah, incredible.
I don't even know you.
You don't.
But yeah, interesting conversation. I feel like we need to come up with some more for next week because there's
I feel like there's loads that we're missing.
I feel like there's loads there's people screaming like
they're going mad at us. Yeah.
But maybe we'll post some up and be like best combos of all time. We'll put those 3 or 4 or 5 up, and then we'll just get a bit of a gist of what people are thinking. Bet there's some nutty ones out there from listeners as well, like worse than yours, mayo and fucking barbecue.
Just thinking nutty.
Oh yeah, like hazelnut chocolate, pretty good. Better than peanut and chocolate.
It's a good shout that.
I mean, there's standard ones like milk and cereal. It's pretty standard, but we're going for the unheard of ones, aren't we? No.
Yeah, you got to go for some. It's got to be a bit out there as well.
I guess it's like when you used to go. Well, when you go to Nando's, and I don't do this anymore, but you used to mix the Fanta and Coke and make a combined. Did you not ever used to do that?
No one's ever done that. That's ridiculous.
And you make like Fanta Coke. Definitely, people have done that. We're gonna see because you get there's not often you get free reign of the like Diet Coke or the kind of drinks dispenser, right? And so you mix them both when you got the chance. You go for it. I'm gonna do it next time I'm there. Screw it.
Weirder.
Are we even allowed to do that? Probably not allowed. That won't be in use, will it?
You want, though, don't you?
But that won't be in use. The drinks dispenser in COVID times.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No, definitely not. That can't happen. That means the Five Guys drinks dispenser is no more, surely.
No, that's different. That's a button you press, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're still like infecting it the whole time.
Yeah, but I'd have thought the whole thing with the Nando's one is that you push your cup against the edge of the thing.
But you still got to put a cup on the thing.
I don't know.
And you're touching it.
I don't know the rules, mate.
I bet they're not in use. Just like coffee machines in like some offices, not allowed to be used.
Are they not?
Crazy. Yeah. But should we wrap that episode up, mate? Basically, in summary, don't be a dick when you go back to the gym.
Basically, yeah.
Any other news? Biceps banter blitz, mate.
Yeah, that went really well. We had over 40 people. I jump on board with that. Yeah. Went really well. So they started literally this week. So a lot of questions, obviously, in the first week. It's interesting actually. A lot of you realise when people start diets where they go wrong, and there's a lot of focus on some real tiny details of the plan, and it's like it's day one, and I get people want to get it right, but people feel like they're not doing it well enough if they're not doing every single little thing, and it's like it fascinates me how much people focus on detail of things, rather than just looking at the bigger picture of going, actually, look, it's 50 odd days of doing things right, not like worrying about if on the first workout you get the first thing perfect. Do you know? Yeah. But yeah, no, so it's good. No, it's going really well. Like, a good bunch in there, so helps a lot. We'll see where they get to in 8 weeks' time.
Lean.
Lean.
Leaner than me. That's lean.
You should have got on it, to be fair. Fucking hell.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, no. I started tracking this week because I ate everything under the sun last week. And drunk every day.
You're so clever. You're so big. It's not big and it's not clever, Tom. You know that.
A lot of gin. All right, we wasted 45 minutes of these people's time. We will actually catch you next week.
We will.